Story 1. Am I the a-hole here for ruining my marriage after my husband's father committed suicide? Trigger warning: abuse. My 28 female husband's 26 male, we will call him H, father attempted to end his ex-girlfriend's life and successfully ended his life yesterday. For background, my husband and I have a blended family with 5 kids in total, some adopted family members, some from my previous marriage, and 1 child together. Typically, we are very happy. I'm medically retired. He works. Our kids are happy and healthy. I'm proud of this, especially from the horrible background I come from. We live states away from any family, so we host both sides of our families in our home when they visit so they can see the kids. My mother-in-law, we can call her Millie. Previously, I was in the military and didn't like the was. Millie treated my kids on my last deployment when she was helping my husband hold down the fort. But when I am there, we get along okay. I am out now and will never leave my kids like this again, so problem mostly resolved. Now my husband is a mommy's boy. H grew up with just her, barely any family and no siblings, and we have had arguments in the past that ended in me putting up boundaries about it being us and not us and her. I have always felt like I shared H, and if she is around too long, all of her opinions become his. Then we argue. H also had almost no relationship with his father until this previous May. They made up and talked on a very consistent basis since, and my husband began to realize maybe his mom manipulated him away from his dad growing up. I finally felt like I had a husband and not sharing him with his mom. Anyway, with the giant snowstorm that just hit us, my mother-in-law is snowed in to our home. And yesterday we got the news that H's father killed himself, which she found out before us and made it so the coroner wouldn't tell us, and we had to run around the house to find her for the news. He wanted his mom, which I get. Everyone grieves and goes into shock differently. I was still there for him, and I handled the kids and the phone calls and supported him in shock and let him go to who he needed to. But he keeps making it about his mom's loss. His mom and dad split up 21 years ago, and she has nothing nice to say about him and would use him as an insult to H if he upset her. You act just like your father. I respect that she is hurt in this, but not how she is milking this out of him. I have dealt with losing family and can help with getting the body prepared and funeral home chosen and process started. However, his mom is in his ear, undoing every plan I'm trying to make with him. Not to be confused with trying to help him separately, just undoing what I am trying to help him with. And then tonight I brought some of the things she's doing to our kids I dislike, and he blew me off. Then I brought up his trip to his dad's state, and he just started acting like I was crazy, and he only wanted his mom's help. I was just asking to help him and how I could support him. This is where I effed up. After all these years of feeling I was behind her, I asked Gordy, I just want to know if I am your wife or your mom comes before me. He said, well, it's her. I did it and still don't have the energy to argue, so I grabbed some things and went outside to make a call and head to bed downstairs. I can't sleep, but that is okay. I could have waited for the talk. I know he's going through a lot, but I feel like this should be something him and I were meant to figure out together, not him running to his mom again. I guess I'm just tired of it. So am I, the AI hole here. I apologize for any spelling or grammar issues. I am tired and still upset. Update. So we both couldn't sleep last night, and I was up with our 2-year-old, usually a great sleeper, but just a weird time in our house. We met up to talk. I already knew I had big eye-hole vibes with everything he is dealing with, and I apologized. I wanted him to know I was there for him, and I really did know what I was doing. He also apologized and said he really didn't mean that. He is just so confused and hurting right now. I go to therapy for complex PTSD already and actually have an appointment in a few hours today, and we'll be talking about this. We have gone to therapy together at our last installation, and I think we might do that again. And he also agreed to go back to solo therapy as well. I am also going to do what a lot of comments said, try to help if he allows me, but a lot of support in taking care of my children, because this has been a lot of stress on the house. I'll continue reading the comments and update if anything changes or blows up. Comment A. I don't have a judgment, but simply step back and take care of the kids. Let his mom and him handle it since he's so sure of her. After it all settles down, See if you still want to be in this marriage. But for now, step back. Don't exhaust yourself trying to help him when he doesn't even seem to want the help. Please listen to this comment up. I don't think you're an AI hole. There was a boiling point for sure, but just let H and his mom handle it, and you sit back with your kiddos and reassess what you want. Comment B. This is a complicated situation all around because of the loss, and honestly, it sounds like both of you said what was already known. It's not complicated, to be honest. He's got mommy issues that have been an ongoing issue, and he's back to doing it again. I don't get why people put up with crap like this for so long. She should have bounced a long time ago. Comment C. Doesn't sound like you ruined your marriage. You asked a priority question in a fight and got rejection. It's not like you gave him an ultimatum. Or if the issue with his mother is too big, then it's not you who ruined it. But you can go ahead and remind him that he is a father first and a son second. He didn't choose to be born, but he chose to have kids, and it's his responsibility to take care of them. Comment D. Yesterday. Not sure if anyone is an AI hole here, but I imagine everyone needs some time to process. I know I'd need more than a day to discuss anything. When my wife lost her dad, all her issues, all her problems, all her feelings were all that mattered. Yes, you lost an in-law, but they lost their dad. Why can't you just support them and not make it an argument? Just say, I am here if you need support, and offer what you think they may need. Food, cremation services, a magician to make them laugh. But if they deny your request, they are denying the request, not you. Sit back and let them mourn and do things their way. I have no idea why you would insert yourself in a time like this. Drama for no reason. He needs support, so support him. That may include taking care of the kids and house and nothing to do with his dad. Let the grieving continue and cool down before you bring up subjects like this. Them denying your help is not them showing you less love or even less appreciation. To be honest, you're the AI hole. It's making me more upset to even type this. Comment E. How could mommy make it so the coroner wouldn't talk to him? Your husband was the only child of a single man. Your husband is the next of kin in this story. Mother-in-law is not even related to father-in-law. It's possible they never really divorced, just separated. Plus, the narrator's a little dramatic. We had to chase her around the house to get the news. Yeah, okay. I will say I've known people who, when they had information like this, who would literally dangle bits and pieces of it and practically make you beg for it, lol. If the mother-in-law is some kind of narcissist or something, I can see what she's trying to convey by saying, chase her around the house. I've in fact told people like this, I'm not going all over creation for this crap, tell me or don't, when they start playing this kind of game. Just trying to add another perspective. This is the type of person because she was. Because there was no information about my husband, he found us online. I'm not sure how, but they sent police to my Meal's sister home where she lives and is her place of residence, and that's how he made contact with her first. When he got a hold of us, I asked who died, and he said he was asked not to say because his mom wanted to tell him. She had known for over an hour at this point. And yes, they have been full-blown divorced and remarried to separate people in the last 21 years. Story 2. Am I the AI hole here for telling my ex's mom why we broke up? I, 27 female, broke up with my boyfriend, 33 male, a few days before Christmas. His mom reached out to me right after Christmas saying she missed me and hoped I was feeling better and that she'd see me soon. I was supposed to go to his parents for Christmas, but obviously didn't since I broke up with him. That's when I realized that he must not have told them we broke up and even lied that the reason I wasn't there was because I was sick. I reached out to him and told him. He said he hadn't told his parents yet, and it's not their business. Fast forward to a few days before New Year's Eve, and she texted me asking if I was coming over to their family party. I told her no and said that we'd broken up. When she asked why I told her to ask her son, he texted me flipping out saying that he'd already said it wasn't their business and to leave his family alone. I told him that she was the one who reached out to me, and the only reason I told her was because I didn't want her to keep texting me. I told him I didn't tell her why and told her to ask him. Last weekend, I heard through a mutual friend that he was going around telling people that he broke up with me because I'm crazy. I was upset that he nerved to be bad-mouthing me and lying, trying to make me look like the bad guy when I was keeping my mouth shut on what really happened. In reality, he got blackout drunk and got physical. So I told the mutual friend the true story, including photos of my injuries. I then also forwarded the same photos and story to his mom. I said, just so you know the true reason we broke up, I heard he's spinning the story against me. Your son is abusive and has hurt me on numerous occasions. I wish you the best, but I wanted to clear up whatever he may have told you. She was super apologetic and took my side. Then my ex blew up my phone, flipping out, saying what happened between us is no one else's business. I had no plans on sharing that with our friends or his family, but when I heard that he was calling me crazy, I felt like it was only fair to say what actually happened. Did I cross the line, though? I feel like maybe I was an AI hole in saying that to his mom instead of just telling our mutual friend. Comment A, honey, the next time a boyfriend gets physical with you, file a police report. As you have unfortunately had to experience, it is very common for abusers to victim blame and claim she's crazy. You don't owe him your silence. He hit you. He lost his precious anonymity as soon as he got physical with you. I'd tell absolutely everyone you know the reason you broke up, but be careful because he will get you back however he can. Stay safe, little sister. Thank you. I didn't want to cause any unnecessary drama. I wasn't even going to tell anyone, but did take photos just in case it came up later. He wanted to lie. He loves to gaslight and call me crazy. Comment B, you have photos? Nice! Girl, file that police report now. This isn't about unnecessary drama. This is about protecting yourself for when he claims that you are defaming him to his friends and family by making accusations. I was in an abusive relationship. I told his mother and our mutual friends. I was sued for defamation because if I was a victim of abuse, then why didn't I file a police report? They always blame the victim. Get hard evidence on your side like a police report. Oh, can I still file a report 3 weeks later with no visible injuries any longer? I have photos, but I feel like if I were to have filed a report, I should have done it right after our fights. I never did in the past, nor did I take photos in the past. Yes, you can absolutely file a report. Take your pics, the conversations, and a statement to the police. They'll probably want it written in a particular format. The one you take is for you to keep things straight in your head and on paper. Just write down what you remember, including date and times, in a much of a step-by-step as you can. If you're not sure what order things happened in, say that. I'm not sure which happened first, but both of these things happened. Thing one, thing two. If you go to a domestic violence service, they might be able to help you with this process. Having to remember and write down details of assault can be really hard. It's better to have someone understanding with you, who also knows the system. If you get asked why you didn't do it before, tell them the reason you're doing it now is because he has 1. Defamed you. He's telling lies about you to people. If you have the info via the mutual friend, show it. 2. Since you told his mother the real reason, she asked, he has been repeatedly contacting you, and you are afraid. And you have reasons for fear as he assaulted you repeatedly in the past. He knows what he did/does is wrong. He knows he's a piece of crap. He doesn't want other people thinking of him that way. So he relies on his victim whilst hiding his actions. And he probably hates that his false reputation is now in your hands. That's a power he doesn't want you to have. He doesn't want people to see the cowardly piece of crap he is. And that's why you need to be careful. Be in groups. Get people to walk you to your car and check around in the car. Be wary and check your surroundings. Carry a small can of aerosol hairspray and a jet lighter. They can be used as a flamethrower that will keep him at a distance until you get inside. Practice and be aware of the wind. Report anyway, because reporting won't make you less at risk. You're already at risk. Reporting is likely to make you safer, depends on how dumb he is. Because this guy is a coward, and he'll be afraid of the consequences for him of being close after you make that report. Get a restraining protection order, whatever they're called where you are. I truly wish you weren't in this position. The very best of good luck. Comment C. Not the AI hole. You tried to keep things private, but your ex escalated the situation by spreading lies about you. You had every right to defend yourself and share the truth, especially when his actions painted you as the villain. His abusive behavior and attempts to manipulate the narrative are not your burden to bear. Telling his mom the truth wasn't crossing a line, it was a clearing up the falsehoods that were actively harming your reputation. It's not like you went out of their way to dirty laundry. You only addressed the issue when it became necessary. His reaction just proves he wanted to control the narrative and avoid accountability. You did the right thing by standing up for yourself. Comment D. Not the a-hole. But you really shouldn't have kept this to yourself. Beating your partner isn't acceptable. It isn't normal. I guarantee you, if she is a half-decent woman, she'll give him hell. Also, she'll now watch out for his future girlfriends. That's the heartwarming take. He'll possibly stop. He possibly won't. But he'll be way less likely to get away with it. His mom is a wonderful woman, and I'm sure will give him crap for it. She told me she wished I told her sooner and to not let any man put his hands on me. She said she didn't raise him to treat anyone like that and apologized. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for kicking out my partner's dad and family from my daughter's birthday party? I kicked them out because they refused to take off their shoes as it's a celebration at our house. For backstory, it was my daughter's first birthday. My partner is white and I am Asian. It has been the norm in our household to keep shoes off when we're at home, and we also wear indoor footwear, slippers. I have always kept spa slippers for guests in variety of sizes in case some are not comfortable in going barefoot. I have always kept my house clean and have always maintained outdoor shoes footwear off when inside our house. Not only does it make cleaning floors easy, the thought of carrying germs inside is gross and scary to me. It's also a cultural norm for us as well to keep shoes off as a sign of respect to the owners of the house. Now my daughter's birthday has come. The first few guests have arrived and has taken cue that shoes should be off, and I've offered spa slippers, and some were happy to wear them, and some just went barefoot inside. Now my partner's dad and his fiancée arrived along with their children. His parents are divorced, and they went straight in with their filthy shoes on, like really gross-looking shoes that were not clean-looking, and you can see the dirt sticking to my tiles. I told my partner to tell them to take off shoes, please, because the other guests were happy to comply and thought they would do the same. Well, they didn't do that and just kept walking around inside with the shoes on and stepping on the rugs and mats with it. I politely asked again, but his dad grunted and said, "Our shoes are clean. We always wash them weekly." I pointed out the dirt on the floor, and he said it's the dirt from when they walk on our front yard, so it's mainly part of our house. I explained again that kids, and most especially his grandchild, crawls around our floor, and since it's her birthday, to just take their shoes off the mat where she crawls. This time he seems offended and started with why I am making such a big deal out of wearing shoes inside when it's a party anyway, and I'm ruining such an important day because I could not bend a little rule for one day. And it's white people culture to not take their shoes off anyway. That's when I lost it and said they can get out of my house if they can't do a simple request. And they left, and my partner said I should have just let it go since they traveled quite far to come for our daughter's birthday, and I'm an a-hole for not being considerate for only one day. So am I the a-hole? Wow, this got so much attention, and I'm showing this to my partner. Posted this on comments. Before having our baby, when they used to visit, they know we have a shoes off rule at our old apartment. My partner has always pointed this out to them, but I would not make a fuss because they only see us on occasion, like maybe once/twice a year. This time, though, we moved to a bigger house, and I have a 1-year-old that crawls around, and it's mainly because there are other babies and kids too, especially in the play area. I was adjusting to the thought that they can wear shoes then on other areas of the house, except on her playmat. It's a very large, foamy, soft playmat that covers most of the room. But they didn't want to follow on that either. Even their children hasn't taken off their shoes when they started to hang out with the other kids to play, and that's where the blow-up happened. He wanted to hand my daughter their gift in the playroom when we also have a designated area to put the gifts. And people commenting about the slippers. They are those disposable spa slippers bought off at Amazon, like $10 for 20 pieces, that I threw out once used except for my usual guests, which are my close friends who now has their own slippers marked in my house. Comment A, not the AI hole. As a Canadian, I'm baffled how some countries don't take their shoes off when you go into a home. Agreed, white American here and shoes in the house just sounds gross. American here, and it depends heavy on the person. I have some friends where shoes get removed and some that don't. I never ask someone to take their shoes off in my house, but I generally take my own off. But you know what sounds gross? Going to someone's house and not complying with a simple request to remove your shoes. It takes no effort, and not doing it is just being a jerk because you can be. There's no negative. Comment B, not the AI hole. It is not white people culture to not take off your shoes indoors. Canada's white people culture is shoes off in private residences, for example. Though this can vary a bit, general culture practice though, and you only wear your shoes inside someone else's house if expressly invited by the owner. Like there's the whole concept of indoor shoes, schools, sports/gym facilities. It's common for entrants to also have a mudroom because that's where the shoes are left. The basic reason? Dirty outside, clean inside. The dirt stays out. It makes more work to keep clean if the dirt is brought in. And carpets! My senses are tingling on some American nonsense. White people culture? The heck it is. Comment C. The only AY holes here are the people who couldn't acquiesce to a perfectly reasonable request from the person whose home they were in. It's your house, and you don't have to accept dirt being tracked through it. Would have been easy enough for them to do this rather than die on that hill. Not the AI hole.